And I'm live. And we are live. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's feeling okay. It's St. Patrick's Day, one of my favorite days of the year. What a strange St. Patrick's Day. I'll probably remember St. Patrick's Day 2020 for a long, long time. Pretty weird. Nostradamus. Looking at a Nostradamus prediction, and it's weird. He said something about the year of the double score, which to me sounds like 2020, you know? Probably won't be able to find it, but I will get it up next time. But there's something weird about Nostradamus. If you think Nostradamus' predictions are real, let me know. I think there's something to them, but hey. Now, look at Bitcoin. What do I see happening for Bitcoin? Well, remember, we're in this giant triangle, and it's not unusual for a triangle to come back to the bottom of the wedge. So it's really just playing its game here. Setting up to get deep into the wedge. The deeper it gets into the wedge, the more explosive the move. In my opinion, even if we have a downside up to 2,900 really is where I think is the lowest we'll go. We're very oversold. And if we look at a fear and greed index, like we are at 8. Like this is worse than extreme fear. This is the worst fear possible. And it got worse. It was a 9. It went to an 8. This is really when you want to be buying Bitcoin. Always, always, always in these times. Somewhere in these red areas. So those are indications to stock up on Bitcoin. Even if we do go down a little bit more. But if we do that, we'll break this triangle trend, and we'll just have to say the triangle was something like that. We'll bend it up. But right now, we're on pace for the same trend line. You can see we really didn't break the trend. We wicked below it, but we came back up. The bulls bought it up. That tells me that there's, I don't know. And like, let's zoom in on the support here, on the 4 hour. Let's see what we're looking at. It's like when in doubt, zoom out, and then so bomb. We seem to be holding some support. We did just go to 450 yesterday, 4,500. We're low on the RSI. We have a lot of room to move up on the RSI. So, in my opinion, that shows that there's got to be some movement to the upside. Maybe back to 6,000. So this is my white line here, 6,500. So we can come back up to 6,500. We did get above this moving average. It seems to be cupping us. You see this? The 21-day moving average. It's really just holding us right here. So it seems to be support as well. MACD still climbing, but it could curl on us. Come back down. It looks like we'll consolidate. When institutions want to buy up Bitcoin, they're going to keep the price where they want it. You know, they're not going to buy too much. Or, they're going to do it in ways where you can't see what's going on, Now the Dow, just like I figured, up 400 points, something that I thought was going to happen. My short down 8%, but it's been up more than that, and I think we're forming like a new bottom here on SPXU. Actually would be a good day to get into SPXU. Now JNUG just keeps moving up another 24%, and it was up 70%, so now it's up 100% today. What I don't understand is it's gold struggles up and down. JNUG just kind of does whatever it wants. We are very oversold in JNUG on the 4 hour, so this would be a great time to accumulate. I think JNUG is going to now start moving back up after its big decline. We could pull a Fibonacci on that and see basically if we take it from even this area here, trying to find the best place, this bottom area here. We come up to the top of the trend line. So we went through any retracements possible, right? So you can throw the Fibonacci right out the window. I mean, not out the window, but you need extensions at that point. This is telling you that it's a really good time to accumulate. Really is. I think there's going to be some huge upside for the JNUG stock coming. I thought we were already kind of hitting the bottom when we were in this triangle. I did not predict that we could fall this low. In my opinion, I think it's institutional manipulation, But we have no pattern really going right now. And there's no way of telling exactly what's going to happen. I can't gauge it. I'm going up here. Oh, sorry about that. Tired. Just waking up early, man. 7 a.m. checking the Dow futures. Okay, BNTX is up another 47% today alone. This is a biotech health technology firm. I think they had something to do with trying to create a virus, a vaccine for the virus. We do see a double top here, though. So could we eventually, you take the neckline to the head, and then we drop down here. Is there a chance we retrace all the way back to 14? That could be in the cards. That's what it says here with the double top. But let's hope we just kind of hug the trend line. You could say that was kind of, these are wick follies. And we're in a bull flag here. And I basically already had created a I have a line here, but it's like on the line. Somehow my line hit the line exactly. So I showed we would do something like this, and we did. We really did. And now we're up here. So we hit, it's crazy, man, how we went, look, we're at 56, and my line, this white line I drew was 56 was my target. It's like we hit the target exactly. It's crazy. This is crazy. I didn't play it, so I'm like wondering why. Like, how did I hit this mark so well on this strange stock? But you know what? It just, things tend to play out. If you study patterns, they tend to play out in the pattern that you create. It's very weird. So gold at 1493. I think it's forming its new bottom. And when I say this is because, look, we came here and already. And if I extend my green buy box, we're still in that green buy box. What's interesting about gold is gold always, if gold's 1491 and you want to buy an ounce of gold, it's 1491. But gold now has a $100 premium on the spot price, which is pretty interesting. I don't see this a lot. So if you were to buy a gold coin, gold ounce, 1661 for a gold coin now, 1600. Even though gold's down to 1491, there's a premium on these gold coins. So you have to pay now $100 over. Usually you pay like $20 over. And let's check the price of silver as well. If you were to get a silver bar, an ounce of silver, you can just go to goldprice.org. That's where I like to look at the gold price. Wow, silver down $12.55. I never seen it this low. I don't understand why they're slamming silver to the ground. Interesting. Either they're getting ready for a big ramp up, so they're getting the price cheap. So silver at $12.59. Hey, you're gonna pay for an ounce of silver now $15.46. So that's like 25% premium over spot. So I think either the supply is getting a little taken, or the gold, sellers here. What's going on, Crypto Don Juan? How you feeling, man? How's Mass, man? How's it going on the Cape there? My parents are stuck on the island. It's getting crazy. But so here's the buy zone. Looking at gold right now, $14.91 an ounce. Okay, JNUG just kind of came back a little bit. But to me, this is really, look how low it is in oversold region. So it's time to buy it. Now, if you're shorting gold, now that's starting to take a hit. So now you wait for this to get oversold. And this is how this game works. You short gold, then you long gold. Then you short gold, then you long gold. It's a red engulfing candle. You can fit this whole candle in that candle. Boom. Done. Boom. Amazon up another 3%. It's going well today. Let's see. Looks like it retraced pretty well too. If we pull a fib on that. Definitely well below the golden pocket, which is right here. More downside for every company, in my opinion, as more people lose their jobs. I heard last night that the unemployment website had just completely crashed in New York. People couldn't sign up for unemployment. Too many people were trying to sign up for unemployment. So it's kind of sad, Walmart up 4%. making those moves, getting those checks from the government. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Fluent stock. Very oversold here, Fluent. It's only been here 3 times on this line since August of 2019. So 3 times in a little under a year. Ooh, not looking good though. Looks like almost look like something's getting halted for Fluent. I don't know why the ticker isn't moving right now. While the Dow just took a huge hit. It was up 500 and it lost everything. It lost everything. I think my short's gonna flip back. Yeah, it is. Look, now I'm not even down anymore. My short's gonna rocket today. I think we're gonna go down to another $1,000 loss day, because when we're up, let's look at it on like the 5-minute chart on the Dow. So 5 minutes. So you can see where the Dow opened. March 16th, we opened like right here. March 17th. Boom. So we open at 9 a.m. right here. We wick up, right? And then we're going to break 20,000. Once we break 20,000. So when in doubt, look left. So let's get this on the daily and show you what I see happening here. And where's our levels. So here we have a double bottom. So you know that is strong support for the Dow. It was at one point. We are in different times, but you got to play this. Here's another place, and here's another place. Here we see strong resistance right here where the price came up. We see some strong resistance right here as well, where the price came up, couldn't break. Now we look back to what's going on. So there's a little hump here where we have some resistance. I'll take that away. And there's a little place here where we have some support. Support right there. Okay, we are really at that support line, right? So if we break that support line, there's a tiny one here, and then shows that we're going to go to 18,000. Now, what is this big line here? Well, I'm showing you guys the markets basically as they are. And I've been calling for the Dow to come all the way down into this, in between the 0.5 and the 618, which will be between 17.9 and 15.3. If you look at my, yeah, you know, it's funny that you said it. When I went out to Las Vegas recently, sitting there with my sister, I was puffing on some of the best, and I had an epiphany. I was looking at, everyone said, the new stadium's getting built. The new stadium's getting built in Las Vegas. And I said, Tom Brady's going to Las Vegas. And my sister looked at me and I said, what? And I'm like, yeah. And I thought about like Britney Spears and Cher, all these artists that had made it, right? They went around the world. They did all these amazing things. And then where do they end up? They end up in Las Vegas with a residency, right? Because everyone knows them. They're sick of traveling. And you know what? Maybe they live in LA, somewhere in the Hollywood Hills. They fly like a 30-minute, 20-minute flight to Vegas. They do their residency night show. They do it 3 nights a week or something. They have a nice fat $1 million contract, and they live life, and it's awesome. So Tom Brady lived his life. He had the money. He had it all. I'm pretty sure he has that big mansion in California. His wife probably likes being there. And, well, this is why I'm saying the chart. This is why I'm saying Vegas. And they have the brand new stadium. They want to get people into that stadium. What would be the best way to knock off the year? Number one, you need headlines. Number one, you need you need to throw people for a loop. Tom Brady goes to Las Vegas. I mean, I think it's written in the stars. I think it makes perfect sense. It's kind of like his residency, so to speak. Like, football is entertainment. It's pure entertainment. Don't get it twisted. We've seen some of the weirdest things in the last few years with the reffing and all that. Now the Dow down 125, so it opened up 500 points. Couldn't handle any of the futures. I can't wait for him to go to the Raiders. I got a Raiders jersey, man. That'd be cool. I've always liked the pirate look, you know. Now the Dow's about to break 20,000. When it breaks 20,000, that's going to be a huge psychological thing for a lot of people, because they didn't think, oh, I'm going to buy the dip. A lot of people got hurt buying this dip. The SPXU short is about to go up. I think we're going to end the day up 10% on top of the gains we've been holding for the last few days. Sad because Amazon was holding. Amazon looks like not to be totally affected, though, which I like to see. Still up 4%, 3%, and Walmart still up 4.3%, while we have the Dow on its way down. Now Dow losing 100 points. So the Dow started 500 points, so it's already lost 600 points. That means in the last 15 minutes, the Dow has lost 500 points, you know. Let's see, Bitcoin holding this 5,200 region. Again, we went over it. It's on the bottom of the trend line. It likes to hug it. I think we're going to make it back up to the top of the triangle. I mean, this is just doing what a regular asset does. That would give us an 83% gain. And that would put us back at about 9,100, 9,100. From there, I think we could come right back down to 5,700. Then back up to 80 in the 8,000 region. And then we're off to the races all the way to my target up here of 25,000. The halving coming up, a lot of things going on. So that's what I see happening. JNUG holding its gains right now, even though they're a little subdued, but it's doing well. It's doing well, up 10%. And you have to remember, yesterday had a 70% day. It was at like $3 just recently. So, yeah, you can't hate on an asset that's still holding those gains of that nature. A friend of mine just got into Graco Inc. I guess they spray a lot. Like, they're the company that will probably end up spraying a lot. I do see kind of a double top forming here, though, which I said could bring it really far down. It is somewhat oversold, but it still has some room to go. I don't know if I would have bought it yesterday. Not saying that's not a good buy, but it may not be the buy yesterday. We'll see, though. It's something to look at, something to keep on my radar. Graco Inc. GGGG. Okay, I'm waiting for another dip to get one more buy. I'm pumped for him. On XRP. Yeah, let's check out XRP. Let's see what I see happening for it. XRP. ZERP. Where's your ZERP at, bro? Are you getting some ZERP? Are you getting some ZERP? I should make a ZERP track. Oh, I think I'm going to do my rap today. I wrote a rap about Wuhan. I think I'm going to let it loose right now. I'm just feeling it. So if we look at XRP, we are on the bottom of this trend line. Very similar to Bitcoin. Right? Bottom of this trend line. Seem to be holding support here with this wick down. Can't believe it really. Did it really wick? Yeah, it wicked all the way down to 10. You couldn't get an XRP at 10 cents. You'd already be up 50%. Isn't that hilarious? So we are very oversold, but we're making it back up. This is a good, to me, that's a good sign. This MACD is about to pull out. Honestly, this would be the last. I don't think there's going to be another dip. But you know what? I've been wrong before, and I probably will be wrong again. But what the chart says is that we're on our way back at least to the top of this trend line here. Temporarily. Good morning, my love. How's everything? 46% gains coming for XRP. After that, I'm really not sure. But I could see us getting back into the 20s. That would put us in 1922 region about that. So if I were to buy XRP, just because, and let me show you the RSI, just because the RSI went so low down here and came back up. See, the last time we went low when we came back up, we never went low again, you know, until we got this low. But, you know, the peaks and valleys here. So, and let's look, how many times were we this low? I mean, we were this low here on August of 2018. We were this low here in December, and we're very low. So only 3 times in about a year and a half have we been this low. Nikolai says, morning, BB.
Good morning.
What's wrong?
We've got things to do out.
She's live streaming in there?
Yeah.
So my daughter live streams to her phone now, makes like videos because daddy live streams.
She's talking to your mom.
Oh, she is. Okay. So I was saying to buy VET up 7% now. So that would have been a buy that I suggested just the other day. And I was saying to buy XTZ at 120. I thought it was a really good buy, up 2%. And even more than that, actually, at 120. Let's look at it on the 4 hours so I can get a grip. See this kind of double bottom forming? See, whoop, whoop. It's kind of a double bottom there. Oh, yeah, I posted this on my channel yesterday, and I said I think 120 is a good buy. You'd be up 20% already, right? Yeah. Yep. Came back down, though. You'd only be up 12.5%. But, yeah, there's a 20% gain that I called out there if you had sold the top. But even if you're still in, you'd be up 10%. Definitely saw that 120. It looked like a good place to buy. Also, this gives you 6% a year, so it's giving a dividend on top of that. So the crypto market, not looking too bad. When you see the bear, which is the bear USD, that's how you short Bitcoin. So when that's down, that's a good sign for Bitcoin. Usually means there's some more gains coming. It's weird. MoneyGram. I just throw this in there because MoneyGram has a deal with XRP, and I thought it would hold this trend line. But it's weird how much MoneyGram is even looking like XRP in a way. They're not exact. I'm not saying they're identical, but they're trending similarly. You know. I also said to buy Link. I thought Link was the buy yesterday. Well, one guy asked me if you were gonna buy 3. I said I would buy Bitcoin, I would buy Link, I would buy XTZ, right? And Link was down here at 159. It's already up to 188. So we're seeing a crawlback in the altcoins, which is good to see. You know, they bottomed. I mean, they all got hit that day. It was insane. Last Friday night, crazy, man. Be right back. Going to buy some XRP. That should be the name of my channel. You know, so yeah, I just think XRP is ready to go. You know, 10 o'clock. What are you doing? Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Let's get back to the Dow. Just because it's so much going on with it. Hard not to see it. Now down 68 points. Okay, nice. You know, always save a little more ammo. If it goes up to 16, 17, oh well. If it goes down to 12, you'll be a happy man. So just save a little more ammo. Maybe your last of your gunpowder, you know, for that last little tip off. You know, I think you know that, but I just got to throw that in there. This BNTX, which I got in, up 50% on the day already. I was looking at it last night. It was on my radar yesterday. It is overbought now, so it's got to come down. That opportunity is over. Now the Dow down 100. I think this is going to keep coming. Yeah, U.S. retail sales dropped 0.5% in February as a sign of early damage from coronavirus. You know, retail is like 60% of our GDP, something like that. Americans buying stuff. So if Americans not buying anything, we're in bad shape. All right, I told you I would educate you guys always. This is a video that came out in 2015, 5 years ago, but it's going to be eerily similar to what you're seeing right now. I'm just going to play this. This is Mike Maloney. This is how I learned a lot.
There isn't any time that I can find in all of history where a population that's all on one side of the boat, when you have a nation of debtors, what has to happen is that you go into a deflation first, allowing the banks to foreclose, and the public in general is on the losing side of the bet.
We are entering a period of financial crisis that is the greatest the world has ever known. The wealth transfer that will take place during this decade is the greatest wealth transfer in history.
Sula.
Wealth is never destroyed, it is merely transferred, and that means that on the opposite side of every crisis there is an opportunity. The great news is that all you have to do to turn this crisis into your great opportunity is to educate yourself. I believe that the best investment that you can make in your lifetime is your own education. Education on the history of money, education on finance, education on how the global economy works, education on how all of these guys, the central bankers, the stock market, how they can cheat you, how they can scam you. If you learn what is going on and how the financial world works, you can put yourself on the correct side of this wealth transfer. Winston Churchill once said that the further you look into the past, the further that you can see into the future. This program is all about creating your own crystal ball, being able to gaze into the future, being able to change this crisis, the greatest crisis in the history of mankind, into your great opportunity.
Crash that I was talking about in my book and that I've been predicting since 2005 is playing out right before our eyes. One of the things I really like about speaking at live events is the chance to interact with people and sort of get my finger on the pulse of what they're thinking. And lately it's become pretty obvious that for a lot of people it's difficult to grasp why I think deflation is coming before big inflation or even hyperinflation. So here I'm going to break down 4 of the biggest reasons that I see deflation coming first. The first one is simple. The overreaction to the 2008 crisis has caused a credit debt bubble, and all bubbles pop.
So I talked about hyperinflating base money. This is hyperinflation right here. Inflation and deflation is either an expansion or a contraction of the currency supply, and prices follow the inflation or deflation eventually. Now, most of this currency does not circulate. It's sitting on banks' balance sheets in what's called excess reserves. You know, if you look at the years leading up to this crisis, this red line is reserve balances. The white line is how much of it is excess. And here we have Alan Greenspan's response to 9/11.
So just look at this. Like, from 1984 to 2008, there was barely any reserves. From 2008 to 2016, this chart it only went those 8 years. Look how high the reserves are, in the billions, right? So it just shows you how much money printing they're doing. Printing more money in the last 10 years than they did in the last 100 years.
Look at the scale of how big this emergency is compared to 9/11. But what is Ben Bernanke afraid of? And now Janet Yellen has inherited this legacy. Well, one of the things that happened in the 2008 crisis is that banks froze up and wouldn't lend to each other. They were all scared to lend to each other. And our system is such a fraud that at the end of each day, they all have to be able to borrow digits from each other that were created from nothing just to keep the whole smoke and mirrors game going. They all have to do this interbank lending to keep things balanced. Well, if one bank won't lend to another and they don't have any reserves, the whole system freezes up. Now, if you've got all these excess reserves that are on their balance sheet and you pay them interest to keep the reserves there and not use this as a basis of fractional reserve lending, they're going to be liquid. This basically prevents bank runs by banks on banks. It's not a public bank run with the public lining up at the doors. It's a bank run where one bank is trying to get their currency out of another or won't lend to another. And so this keeps things liquid. Right now, what this has done, though, the banks get to use this stuff in the middle of the day. And so you see the use of margin in the stock market going to record levels. You see this.
Another thing, the stock market is more over-leveraged than it ever has been. Over 50% of traders, institutions are using leveraged money on credit. So when it tanks, who's going to pay all the credit back when they don't make the money?
Stock market going to record levels, things like, I follow collector cars. And they've been going astronomical. The number of $10 million cars out there now is just absolutely insane. And there are cars now selling for $30 million. Wine collections, art, it's all going ballistic at this point. And all bubbles pop. This is the average price of a new home divided by the median annual household income. Normally, 3-4 times your income is about what you can afford with a house. When you drop in interest rates, the affordability goes up, so people pay more for a house. But interest rates don't stay in one spot forever. They have to revert sometime or another. And all these people are going to be trapped. Every bubble pops, that's a bubble. We are in for something big again, and this time it's going to be more horrific than the crash of 2008, simply because the response to 2008 created a lot of stored energy. And then when the market crashes, that energy is released in the opposite direction. That previous chart of the hyperinflation of base money, well, we're going to get a reaction from all of this.
See?
2008, early 2009. And if you look back at history, you say every major debt and financial asset bubble in history, the railroad bubble of the early 1870s at peak, followed by deflation. You know, the auto and farm bubble and tractor bubble, that's actually a tractor bubble that caused the Great Depression. It was farms failing, and it was smaller local banks failing that caused the Great Depression and high unemployment. Deflation, because the deflation has to root out the massive debt and the financial assets that get overinflated. And it's good. If we bring down the cost of living, if we restructure debt, if we bring financial assets down, it actually improves our standard of living long term, but it is painful when it happens.
People think that the Federal Reserve can prevent deflation, that they control the money supply. Most people don't realize that the Federal Reserve controls base money only, and it's an incredibly small portion.
It's so tiny.
Right. Yeah. And all they do is influence the rest of the economy with interest rates and reserve balances and such.
Well, some people say,
Well, Ali Farad, thank you for joining the channel and you're asking your question. Well, yesterday, remember, I don't know if you remember, you asked me what to buy, and I went over this. I said XTZ in at 120. I thought it was a really good place to get in. It's at 132 now, so you'd be up on that. I also suggested Link, which was at 159. It's at 182 now. Also, if you have forecasts for the basic attention token and Kyber, that would be amazing. Yeah, I'll go into basic attention token, one of my favorite tokens. Really like that. Wow, 11 cents. Okay, so this also had a huge crash. So when we pull Fibonacci's, they're really not working anymore because it fell through the roof. What can I see happening? Well, right now I see a triangle for basic attention token. Only thing for basic attention token is it has a following, and it does have the Brave token, but it doesn't have as much going for it. Right now, I think it's going to fall back down to this bottom trend line. So it's going to lose another 12%. So back maybe to 9 cents, something like that. It seems to really, let's go backwards to see if we see any support or resistance back here. So there's nothing really. You kind of started at 17 cents. There is a big double bottom here that was supposed to play out and it fell through. So that tells me that this is really on a downtrend, right? We need see the last low was a lower low here. We need a higher low to close. So we need to wait. Basically, let's go back to the daily on this one. These are daily candles. So this candle did close lower. So we need to see today close higher than this, and then we need to see higher highs coming out of this. We do see a MACD cross, and we're oversold on the daily. Could be a good time actually to accumulate your first batch. If you have 1,300, I would put $500 into basic attention token, and I would wait to see what happens for a couple days, maybe next Monday or Tuesday. I think it'll either be up or down, and then I would finish the rest of my buying. Again, this isn't financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Look at the description, but I just have to say that, Ali. Also, if you have forecasts for basic attention token, yeah, and the Kyber network, I think, is going to make a lot of money. It basically creates a pool, and then as everyone keeps buying and you own Kyber, you get more of the pool, and eventually you get like a higher dividend. And the dividend grows as more people get into Kyber, and yeah. So, but yeah, basic attention token is in a downtrend. Like, you might be trying to catch a falling knife here. So I can't, but you know what? If you made your first purchase now at 500 and it goes to 5 cents, you can buy there and you'll be balanced out. So that's why I always say to ladder in. Let's look at Kyber network. And then I have to jump off. Kyber. KNC. Okay, I just want to make sure I have the right asset. Now, Kyber's on a big run because it's basically a self-procuring asset. It has a lot going for it, and it's in a bull flag right now. So this is a lot different than basic attention token. As you can see, it's in an uptrend. It's in a completely different place. It's also got a curve here on the RSI, meaning it's coming, and this MACD is about to cross. It's also on the bottom of a trend line of this bull flag that it's forming here. So this actually would be the time to buy Kyber network, in my opinion. I would put my money into Kyber before I even touch basic attention token. I would wait for attention token to get above a moving average. See, right now, Kyber network has all the moving averages going for it. It's got the 200, the 100, the 80, the 50. That's so bullish. Kyber network actually is the most bullish thing I can see right now, now that you mention that. And if it breaks out of this bull flag, we have a pull and another move. So it actually could end up going all the way up. Kyber network's in a way better place. I would stay away from basic attention token now after looking at this. Yeah, there's really no resistance or support. If we go back a little bit here, though, we got some room here. But really, I think it could fly all the way up to my target. All the way up to my target. Kyber network for an 86% gain coming at you. And it's a safer asset. People really like assets that they join a pool in and they get a percentage of the pool. So it has way more incentive to buy. It has a MACD cross coming here on the daily. You can see the red histogram. That probably might be the biggest one. And then it's going to curve up. So this looks healthy to me. If we go back to basic attention token, you really want to look at moving averages as well. It's below all the moving averages. See, this is the 21. You know, before I would even start buying this, I would want to see it get above the moving average. It is a good time to accumulate it if you want to hold it long term and you believe in it. But I just think Kyber Network is a stronger play right now. And it gives you more cushion. It gives you more support. And that's just something that I got to say. Getting back over to the Dow. Gus funds. Now the Dow down 164 points, getting worse. Now I'm back in the green on my SPX short. So that's looking healthy. I think we're going to be able to pop even higher. Might be a good day to actually start buying this short. SPXU, I think it just bottomed here at 35. I think it really has a strong support here in this region, this 32 to 35 region. So this would be a good time to get into a short right now on SPXU. JNUG now up 23%, and it was up 70% yesterday, cracking that 10. Gold going back to 1,500. So gold showing strength as the Dow tanks, and this is what you want to see. This is like normal behavior. Bitcoin dropping a little bit, but it's also it's holding support though at 5,150. So that's my guess for what's going on there. If you really like my channel, if I bring you guys any value, please let me know. I really appreciate it. You can also donate to the channel anytime you want. I have, let's see here, is this my actual link? Yeah. Going back, if you look in the description, I have a Bitcoin address, Litecoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Bitcoin Cash. If I brought you any value today, or if you made a good buy or something that made you comfortable, throw me a bone. You know, it's up to you though. You don't have to. Just coming here and leaving a comment is all that really matters, and being part of the community is what matters. But I got to run, guys. Thank you guys so much for everything. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video. And remember, crypto